Hi, my name is Lavender.
And I'm Lemonade. This is episode 3 of our podcast, and we'll be talking about Harry Potter once again. So, by listener request, we've changed our names. We were Maggie and Hannah, but now we are Lavender and Lemonade, so...
Yeah, the listeners have listened to our entire first episode, and we had only one question: who is Lavender and who is Lemonade? And we had to clear this up.
We had to. I will say, we posted that episode like 2 hours ago, so and it's an hour long, so there hasn't really been time for feedback, but I think this was the most important point of them all, so...
Exactly. And also, I need to apologize. Last time for episode 2, I failed to record myself properly, and my voice is very distorted. And I've learned from this. We tested it this time, and I'm actually going to try my best to sound nice this time.
You always sound nice, but hopefully the sound quality will be much better now.
Thank you so much.
Our listeners may have noticed that we are not professionals. We're just doing this for fun. Because, it'd be the thing you want to see in the world. Like, wouldn't it be so nice to have podcasts where you don't have to worry that suddenly someone's going to say something misogynistic,
Exactly. Yeah, there are very, very few podcasts with only women. I've been struggling to find them.
It's exhausting. It wears you down. I always have to keep pruning my recommendeds, my life, try and keep all the men out. They're always suggesting more men. I'm like, no.
Honestly, that's a mirror of what the society is like. We say I'm lesbian 1,000 times, and they're still like, what about this man?
Have you considered? Yeah.
Have you considered this one? No, I have not, and I will not. Thank you. Bye.
No, so... we're just gonna hang out, have a good time, and talk some more about Harry Potter, because after all these years, it's still so much fun to talk about. Thank you, J.K. Rowling.
Thank you so much. Okay, so last time, I decided that I enjoy talking so much about the female characters, and all I want to do now is explore everything about the female characters. It makes me so happy. So we are going to name everyone.
We're just gonna go through all of the women. Probably not like all of the women. We'll hit the high points. I think we should start with a bang. I think we should talk about Petunia.
All right, but I have to say, the way you said what you said, like I'm so sorry. I have a horrible mind. You said. Never mind. We should move on. We should not.
There's nothing I can say to that. That wouldn't make it worse.
Exactly. I was thinking like, there's nothing I can say that wouldn't make it worse. Let's just move on. What do we think about Petunia? Oh my god.
She's interesting. She's got a lot going on. Not really a good person.
I would have to agree on that. Yes.
But. Very complex, very real. She's not cartoonish. She has dimension. You kind of understand why she is the way she is.
Yeah, of course.
And I think it's really interesting. I feel like we don't see very much in media these female characters who, like, a lot of her nastiness comes from jealousy. And like, I feel like usually when I see that kind of character, the narrative is going to be, like, really mean to her about it. It's really gonna... like, it's not often that you see a female character who wants something she doesn't have, and is never gonna get it, and there's still sympathy for her in that, even though she's not a good person.
You're right. I love what you just said. That was so well spoken. I'm very impressed with you right now. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, we actually do get some grasps of her humanity. We get like that's where she was the most interesting to me, where she was showing some kind of, understanding that she knows what is going on, that she knows about the world of magic, that she understands that something happened to her sister and that it's relevant. Those moments were very impactful to me. But also I want to hear from you, what was the sympathy that we got for her? Was it when we found out about the letter?
So there's some of that. Definitely Dumbledore expressing his sympathy to her. And also just like the fact that magic isn't used to like, I don't have a nice way to say this, to dominate or degrade her. She doesn't like it. She doesn't have it. Her dislike is coming from this very deep place of hurt and jealousy. And the narrative just like doesn't take pleasure in like the fact that she doesn't have magic. It doesn't, some narratives will like set up ways to...
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, yes. There are so many tales and stories where, like, the jealous girl who doesn't get what she wants, she's usually depicted as evil and she's punished.
Yes, punished by the narrative, yes. And even though, like, she's really not a good person, Petunia is not punished in that vindictive way. And I'm also thinking of, like, that moment, the last time that she and Harry ever talk in the books, or, like, meet in the books, is in the 7th book. She is leaving with the rest of the Dursleys to go into hiding. And Harry's about to, like, leave on the broom and everything. And there's just this moment, because the way that the Dursleys say goodbye to Harry is, like, I think the wizards, like, even notice, like, say something out loud about, like, that's it, like, you're not gonna say goodbye, because of course they don't get that, like, no, this is an abusive household, these people don't love each other.
Yeah, they leave him behind like they're leaving an old shoe, like, it doesn't matter to them.
Right, they do not really care.
But she pauses.
Yes. We get kind of an interesting moment with Dudley, which is he's another really interesting character. I have thoughts about Dudley, and we will get to it.
Okay, we need to, because now I want to know every one of them.
Okay. But just that moment where Petunia pauses and looks at Harry like she's going to say something, and then doesn't and just leaves. And I remember years ago something from like J.K. Rowling being like, yeah, what she was going to say was like, she was my sister, something like that.
I didn't know she was going to say that. Oh my god.
And she just did, and that just tells you so much about her, because like her sister died. She had to mourn her and everything, and all these mixed up, and their relationship had fallen apart before that. Her sister was magical and she wasn't, and she was locked out of this world, and she retaliates by becoming the most normal person that there could possibly be. And then also you have to remember that this woman abused Harry and sanctioned his abuse, like, for years. Her sister's only child.
That is my first thought about Petunia. I can't get over how she raised... I mean, she didn't raise him. She
did.
Was it raising if she just put him into servitude? Did he ever get any kind of guidance or parental care?
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
I don't count it as raising. I think he was just a house servant.
Yeah. Poor Harry. Harry's another character whose psychology just fascinates me. This poor guy.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
There's something so raw and visceral about his first, like, earliest memory. I think it's mentioned in, like, the first book of, like, his earliest memory being that flash of green light. Man.
Yeah. That's something I can't really imagine, having no experiences like this, because we are in the Muggle world, sadly. But yeah, that would traumatize a baby for sure.
Yes.
Okay, walking back to Oh, did you want to say more about Harry?
No, I just wanted to, it's occurring to me, I should probably apologize for how brutal I was last time. I should have said this at the beginning, I should have said it. I'll put it in, like, a disclaimer when we post the episode. Well, in a disclaimer when we post the second episode, but, I'm sorry for being so mean to people getting sorted into houses. I didn't mean it.
It's okay. I think it's okay. We addressed it. You even said in what house you were sorted. I think that basically puts you back with all the rest of us nerds. So we know you're one of us.
Forgive me, women in my phone. Forgive me.
All right.
That's all I care about.
I forgive you, and the rest of the women, like, are free to speak for themselves.
Thank you. All right, you were saying something?
Yeah, I was gonna go back to Petunia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that, yes, because she was rejected from the magical world, and this rejection hurt so much that she decided she no longer wants to do anything with magic, and then she was forced to raise this magical baby. Do we think that she took it out on Harry?
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely, she did. And I hadn't quite, like, put together that part of it. Like, I knew, but I hadn't really thought about it in those terms of, like, she is forced to raise this magical baby. Like, she doesn't want to raise Harry on any level, and doesn't get a choice.
Yeah.
And it's really, like, because she's the only one who knows about magic in her household, like, the burden of, like, justifying this to her husband, who also doesn't want Harry there, like, it all falls on her.
Oh, you're right, yes. This is her family.
That's one of those moments where, like, Dumbledore is a very complex character.
No, evil, I want to say evil in this case. He knew what he was doing back when he put Harry on that doorstep. He knew what was up.
He's very complex. He's too complex to say that he is a good character who isn't nice. Because I don't know that I could, like, go that far as to call him good. He's very cutthroat, very ruthless. But, like, he leans towards good, you know?
I think he leans towards being like very beloved. He wants a good reputation. He wants people to idolize him. He wants people who are loyal and devoted to him. And if there's something kind of easy that he can do to get there, he will do those things. And it's kind of, I think being nice to children is easy. And, you know, being kind here and there when it's unexpected, that's easy. And being, you know, whimsical and goofy in the moment when children expect him to be serious, that's easy. Those are easy ways to charm children. But when it's time to do something, like, really hard, he pretends that it's out of his hands, basically.
See, I don't know, though, because he really does, like, the ways that he works to bring Voldemort down, like, he ruins his reputation.
When?
Yeah, by siding with Harry against the Ministry of Magic.
Oh, all right. I forgot about that. That's my bad. Thank you for reminding me of this. Yeah, okay.
No worries. But, like, that's he's very complex because, like, putting Harry in a bad situation like that is not a good thing to do. But also, like, people say, oh, he could have protected Harry somewhere else. Okay, Harry's parents had just been killed. They were under the Fidelius charm, right?
Yes.
Which was one of the most secure forms of protection that the Wizarding world has. This war has, like, done a number on people and their ability to trust and where is really going to be safe. And Voldemort, like, was dipping into crazy dark magics. Like, Dumbledore... Did I say Voldemort or Dumbledore? Yeah, so Voldemort was doing crazy dark magics. Dumbledore, like, doesn't know... Even if Voldemort is actually gone, he's left all of these crazy followers behind who have also been dealing in dark magics. Remember when Harry is retrieved from his parents' house, like, Bellatrix Lestrange is still at large, like, all of these Death Eaters are still at large, and they will try and kill him. And so it's complex. Like, you can't say that Dumbledore did the right thing by leaving him with Petunia, but on the other hand, he did keep Harry alive. He did that.
Okay, all right.
That's the bare minimum, but I think the Wizarding world is not very nice. And it's very hard for me to kind of look at those circumstances. Like, I think he could have done more. He could have done more. But, like, I kind of look at the crazy level of, like, that blood protection that Harry had by living there.
All right, that's something I have some comments about.
Okay, tell me.
Okay, so that is basically the one trap card in the book that makes it so that Dumbledore basically has to leave Harry over there. He doesn't have a choice because the blood protection is the only thing that can keep Harry alive. But that is a situation that doesn't exist anywhere else except in this book, in this one case. This situation cannot happen in real life. There is no realistic situation where this would be a right thing to do. So basically, J.K. Rowling constructed this situation where, when this one time, in this one special circumstance that doesn't exist in real life, this is fine. And this bothers me because we have to, because of the blood protection, we have to look past it. We have to say, oh, okay, well, this one time, this was necessary. This one time, it was necessary to put a child into an abusive household and walk away, but it can never be reproduced anywhere else. It cannot happen in any other situation, I feel like.
I see what's bothering you.
Yes.
Okay. See, I don't mind it as much just because I feel like the narrative doesn't condone it. Like, I feel like you really, really see the effects of the abuse in the way that Harry acts. Like, it's not like a cute little backstory. It's not like, it's very realistic the way that it impacts him. And it's very complex, and I respect it for that. But I don't feel like it's either, like, the ramifications, I don't feel like they're ignored or, like, glorified. But I do hear what you're saying.
Okay, I have another addition, because it's exactly as you say, the narrative did not condone it, and also, do we remember who was also there? McGonagall was there when he was doing it. And she was panicking. She was saying, hey, I've seen what type of people these are. Are you really gonna leave this baby with them? She understood that this was a horrible thing that was happening, and she vocalized it. She spoke against it. She was fighting for Harry. I love her so much. And also, I have to ask, I love asking this question, what would have happened if it was a woman? If it wasn't a male Dumbledore, if it was a witch? Would she have done it, or would she have just taken this baby and brought it to her own home, unprotected, with her life?
Oh, that would have been a really interesting... See, I don't even think that, like, a female Dumbledore would have... That would have been a fascinating character.
I know, oh my god, we need this.
He's just not maternal, you know?
Because he's a man.
Right, but, like, I just, like, there are women who aren't mature. I think a female Dumbledore might still be, like, this is why I say, like, he has that surface level of, like, he can be nice and he can do, like, these very, so sorry, but, like, for the greater good things. Like, you can really see his youth in the way that he acts. But, like, the impact is still there. But, like, there is a coldness to Dumbledore.
Yes.
And I don't think that is entirely attributable to him being a man.
All right.
There's definitely a conversation of like how would he change if he was a woman, if he was socialized in that way, and would he even be able to have gotten as far as he did? Like,
oh, all right, that's a different conversation.
Right, like Dumbledore as a character is kind of only possible as a man, because someone with his personality as a woman in the exact same circumstances would have ended up in different places, I think.
Definitely, yes. We would need a whole matriarchal society to make a female Dumbledore.
Yes. Man.
All right.
It is awful, though.
Yeah.
Just like a child in an abusive household, for sure.
Yeah, I hate that. Okay, I want to pivot back a bit. Do you want to say more things about Dumbledore?
No.
Excellent. We are going back to Petunia because I have another question. We were on a topic on discussing how she hated raising a magical baby. Now imagine how would it look like if Harry was not magical? If he was just a normal kid, would she still have abused him?
I think the answer is like, how early on did it become clear that he was magical? And would she have abused him for the possibility that he was magical?
Okay, that's true. I think she knew right away because parents were both magical. The chances of him not being magical was like zero, basically, at that point.
There's also like a certain sunk cost fallacy because, like, imagine, okay, this baby rocks up, you don't want it, you think it's magical, you don't want anything to do with it, you are like keeping it alive because you have to, like, you guess, but like,
oh, this is dark.
I know what happened to Harry is really dark, but they kept him in a cupboard under the stairs.
I know. My heart hurts.
Where I'm living right now, like, has a cupboard under the stairs, and it's so small. It's so small.
But he was also small. He was baby.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful. But, like, I think that if Harry wasn't magical, and you mean, like, if he was a squib, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't thinking that deep into the situation. I was just trying to imagine if there was no magic, like, at all in the family, if he was just a son of her dead sister, how much would this have changed the situation? Yeah, I was just hypothetically thinking.
I think that would change Petunia tremendously. That would lift the whole burden of jealousy. Her relationship with her sister might still be fraught, but it would be, I think, much less so. She wouldn't need to feel like she acts like she's ashamed of Lily, but also, like, I think she's, like, deep down ashamed of herself for not being like Lily. But, you know, like, if Lily wasn't magical, then she would have no problem, like, talking about her, you know, to her husband. She would have no problem if Lily was murdered in, like, a mundane, everyday sort of way. Like, she could say, like, oh, my sister died. She wouldn't feel the need to, like, hide it.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you. Like, that's really dark. You need to say, like, she would be really sad that her sister died. You can't say she would have no problem with it.
Yeah, see, Dumbledore is not the only person who is very cold here. I am.
No, you just forget. You just say words, and I hear them, and then I understand what you're saying, but you're not catching up.
Oh no, oh no.
It's okay, I'm here, I'm gonna fix it. So
Yeah.
she would be...
This is why you're Lavender. You're a lot nicer than me. I am sharp like a lemon.
Ooh, I like lemon though. Okay, continue.
Right, so, like, it would just change so much that even if she wasn't thrilled... Also, like, if Harry wasn't magical, like, she wouldn't be stuck with him.
Oh, there
So
would
there's
be
every
other
possibility
family.
that, like, Harry, a non-magical Harry, would have a much better time with his aunt and uncle.
I still hate his uncle, regardless of whole magic. Like, he's just nasty.
Okay, let's talk about Dudley, because the interesting thing about that situation is that they aren't good parents to Dudley either.
No, they're horrible. They're spoiling that kid rotten and making him really violent and dangerous.
I think that one of the most interesting moments for me is when Dudley is saying goodbye to Harry, and because the wizards are all like, y'all aren't going to say goodbye to each other? Like, you don't care? Like, you might never see your nephew again. Like, don't you, whatever? And they're like, yeah, this is an abusive relationship. I don't know what you want. They don't say that, but
Yeah.
it's just hanging in the air. And Harry's like, no, it's fine. They don't like me. And Dudley's like, no, I do. Like, I care about what happens to you.
And everyone is shocked. Nobody can handle it.
But, like, that surprises Harry.
And
And
me. I was shocked. I was like, what is happening right now?
Dudley has an interesting character arc where, like, he's so spoilt, and, like, what happens in his house is so normalized.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do see him, like, getting older and being like, hey, why was my cousin under the stairs?
Mm-hmm.
Like, wait a second. And I even kind of think, like, the moment with the Dementors was a turning point for their relationship. Because Dudley has a terrible, awful time, and Harry rescues him.
Yes.
Harry still, like, gets in trouble for that, which I think is why, like, it never, like, pinged on his radar that might have changed the way that Dudley looked at him. But I kind of think it did.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, like, while Harry's away at school and, like, Dudley is just living his life with the trauma from that experience.
Yeah, may I tie into this, what you're saying?
Yes.
I think at first you're giving Dudley maybe a lot more grace than I would, because I don't think he was particularly asking himself if Harry was abused or not, or if it was okay that he was under the stairs. I think that's all super normalized in Dudley's brain. I think what might have shocked him is that he was very aware that he was bullying Harry and beating him up and making his life as miserable as possible. And despite all of this, Harry still saved him. And he saved him from a danger that Dudley could not fight at all. It was something that was going to eat him alive. He really felt like he was never going to be happy again. He almost died. And Harry, a person that he did only evil to, was the one who rescued him. I think maybe that was a bit of a shock, because you wouldn't expect, if you're a horrible bully, if you've been torturing someone, that this is the person who's going to save your life.
Yes, I do agree. And I was saying more that, like, I don't necessarily think that Dudley was in the books at any point, like, rethinking what happened to Harry, but, like, I could see it happening down the line, which I think also, like, a part of me just really, really wants Dudley to mature and grow up, because otherwise he's terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Just rocking around, beating people up with his little gang. Actually, Dudley and Draco Malfoy.
No, don't say that. No.
They are so similar. I'm sorry, they are so similar.
Okay, listen, I have a slight fondness for Draco Malfoy, but only because I've read so many fanfiction that my version of him is very distorted. But I don't like Dudley, and I don't want to put him in the same basket. That being said, please tell me what the parallels are so I can see if I can give you any pushback on that.
Okay. Because I really do see them as like parallels of being raised in the same way, but just in a magical and non-magical context. Dudley grows up being very like unambiguously positioned as superior to other people. He's treated as superior to like everyone in general, but like Harry specifically. His parents are always going to side with him in any conflict. And Draco is raised the same way. He gets a fun little justification of like, oh, it's because of your bloodline. But he does get raised that same way of like, you're better than everybody else. And they are both, I would say, yeah, they are both bullies. Who really don't know what to do. Like, when they are put in dangerous situations, when they are in danger, they don't,
They panic. They don't know what to do, yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't quite want to call them cowards, but they're not brave.
Oh, yeah, they crumble.
Yes, they crumble. And you see it happen with both of them, where like I think more with Draco, like because Draco gets in over his head.
He does. He really does.
He does too much, and like when in the 7th book, when he's called up to identify like Harry, just Harry because Harry's the one who's disguised. He's not having fun. He doesn't want to be there. He won't identify Harry. Like, he wants all of this to be done. He wants Voldemort out of his house. And, it's an interesting thing in the Battle of Hogwarts, like at the end there, that both of his parents are noted as running through the battle, not fighting, screaming for Draco. Because the fighting was never, like, the most important thing to them. They were just opportunistic, short-sighted bullies, which I think is also true of the Dursleys.
Oh, I didn't expect this, but okay, you're right. For now, you're right.
Okay. I wasn't actually expecting to change your mind, so I feel pretty good now.
You better. I'm bummed out about this. I hate this.
Oh, no. I do feel like, here's the thing, I feel like we get a much closer look at Dudley's nastiness, like first, like it's very personal, it's happening to Harry, and Dudley is not, like neither of them are described as attractive in the books per se, but Draco is described in a way that you can make attractive. A pale, pointed face, you can make that attractive, and people do.
People do. They are doing that.
Yes, and I think that there's also like an attraction to the actor Tom Felton, I think, and so like that translates as well, and that just doesn't happen with Dudley. Nobody is thirsting after Dudley.
Is this what this has become? Justice for Dudley?
No, I don't want to defend Dudley like any more than I already have. But, like, I'm just saying is like if a character is perceived as attractive. If a male character is perceived as attractive, fandoms will be very sympathetic.
Yeah, okay.
So I think that's one of the things that happened there. Like, you can take Draco's character in some interesting directions. Like, I do have some sympathy for him.
Yeah.
But just the fact that he gets that and Dudley doesn't is telling to me of, like, where that impulse comes from.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've just talked nonstop this whole time, so the listeners are like, does she ever let Hannah talk? So it has to be your turn now.
I wanted to hear what you had to say, and you surprised me. The parallels are there. I can see them. I've never thought about it because, to be honest, I never spent more than 2 seconds thinking about Dudley. He does not matter to me. He's dead to me the second he's out of the page. I I felt like his last words to Harry were praised too much already, so I did not indulge. The only
That's
thing,
fair.
the only
That's
thing
fair.
I was ever curious about was that, you know, that moment when he gets shocked by the Dementors, and he's having like the worst moments of his life. He's reliving the worst moments of his life, and for a second, Harry is like, I wonder what he's seeing right now. I wonder what are his worst moments. Like, he's never had even a bad day in his life, and I'm curious if that was when Hagrid gave him the tail, because I think that was
I
pretty
did
bad.
think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but Harry doesn't know, and I was also curious, did anything worse than this happen to Dudley? But yeah, he doesn't. I don't care about him. I want to go back to female characters because I care about them.
Yeah, actually, in that lane, who are we going to talk about? Okay. You had a really interesting thought before we started recording about Narcissa. So if you want to talk about that, I think that'd be amazing.
Oh, all right. Okay. So I have some respect towards Narcissa because she showed no allegiance to Voldemort whatsoever, and that is so funny to me. I mean, she was working against him even more than Snape did, I think. She was extremely brave. Like, the dude was living in her house, and she was plotting against him the entire time. And nobody noticed.
Narcissa going to Snape being like, hey, help my son. With Bellatrix in the background being like, fuck your son.
Oh my god!
Sacrifice him to the Dark Lord. What's wrong with you? And Narcissa's just like, girl.
Do you understand that what you just said? Like, I'm going to remember that every single time I read this scene. Like, it's going to be in my brain forever. Oh my god. That was such a good depiction. So yeah, I think she's as brave as Snape, and she was really giving it all. She left her dignity at the door, she left everything at the door. She was gonna fight Voldemort. And I found out after the books went out that the original plan of J.K. Rowling was for Narcissa to finish off Voldemort and not Harry. And oh, I wish we had that. I can see it, and it's glorious. I think as a child, I would have not understood why this had happened, if it had happened. I think I might have been a little disappointed that it wasn't our hero. But as an adult, I would love the poetic parallels, because it was Lily's actions that finished Voldemort off first time, and then to have another mother, Narcissa, finish him off for good. I think that would have been beautiful, and it would have shown that you do not mess with mothers.
It would be a trifecta, because right before that happens, Bellatrix, of course, is killed by Molly Weasley.
Oh, you're right. Oh my god, yeah. Molly was there too. Molly was also, hey, you do not fuck with me, because we do not fuck with mothers in this story.
Oh, that is so interesting.
Yeah.
There's definitely a good respect. One mother-child relationship that we don't really see anything of that I'm really curious about is Tonks' relationship with her mother.
I was thinking it. Before we started filming, I was thinking it. Like, did something happen with Tonks and her parents that she ended up having a crush on Lupin? Like, what happened there?
Well, okay, yeah, because Tonks having a crush on Lupin really is kind of in that family, not tradition, but like it's in the same line as like her mother marrying a Muggle-born and losing everything for it.
Oh, you're right. I haven't thought about it. I forgot that Tonks' dad was a Muggle-born. Do we know how old he was when they married?
Ted? No, I don't know. And I am sorry for like the ambient sounds just there. I knocked over some pens like a fool.
No,
But
it's good that we know. When we hear an ambient sound, we just want to know what it was. Once that it's explained, we are happy.
okay. I am glad because I'm very shambolic here. I'm just recording from my desk surrounded by art supplies in the way that I do, so.
Okay, we were mentioning Tonks before we started recording, and we both expressed the sentiment that we were hoping that Tonks would be a lesbian because she had a vibe. And also the bisexuals were also hoping that Tonks would turn out to be bisexual. So everyone was disappointed when she went for Lupin, and I don't know, I don't understand it. It's some heterosexual bullshit. It flew over my head. I don't know why that happened. I love her so much, but girl, what are you doing?
I think my friend has a wonderful point. We've talked about this, and she told me that if there had just been like one scene of like Harry walking into like the kitchen or something and like clearly interrupting the end of like a very charged talk between Tonks and Lupin, like if there had just been like one scene to be like, okay, no, they're into each other, because otherwise it just really feels like it happens too much off screen, where it really feels like
they give us nothing.
Like, I'm not even convinced that like Tonks loves him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's this desperate, like, unhappy thing. And then there's Lupin, who, like, it kind of feels like he got harangued into it. And then, like, they get married, she gets pregnant, and he's like, Harry, can I go with you? Can I?
He was not good to her. He did not take responsibility. He was trying to run away as soon as it got hard for him. I don't respect him in that way.
I will say I do respect Harry.
Oh, yes, Harry, but not Lupin.
Because I'm gonna say, like, Harry did, like, a crazy thing. A very mature thing. Twice. Both in the 7th book, yeah. Okay. Because Harry is a character who, like, he yearns for his parents, right?
Yeah.
It's such as when Sirius said that, like, oh, Harry, you can come live with me in the 3rd book.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
When they don't get to have that, it's one of the most painful moments. Even though you know, like,
I know, my heart hurts just thinking about it. I'm gonna cry. I wish he had that. He deserved that.
Yes, that's what, like, the genre of, like, Harry Potter, like, fix it. I don't really interact much with the Harry Potter fandom. Just not really my thing, but, like, that's my weakness. Like, I could think through it intellectually, it'd be like, Sirius has so much trauma going on, like, it wouldn't be like a fairy tale ending for Harry to go live with him, but also, like, I want it.
No, they would have, they would have been doing very dangerous things, and I do think that he would lead Harry into a life of crime, but it would have been very, very fun.
Oh, I love the way you said that.
He would do it. I'm sure he would do that.
Harry's allowed to have a life of crime as a treat.
Yes.
But, like, so Sirius is this figure, like, the first adult in Harry's life who really puts it all on the line for him. He's like, yeah, I'll come visit you and, like, eat rats in a cave to come say hi to you. Like, you know, like, he's so important to Harry. And then he's killed, and there is every reason in the world, this will be about Lupin, hold on. There is every reason in the world for Harry to put Sirius up on a pedestal and never take him off. And so to me, it speaks so highly of Harry's character in the 7th book when he is able to be like, you know, Sirius was wrong for how he treated Creature. That wasn't okay, and I'm going to treat Creature differently. And he does the same thing with Lupin, where like, Lupin is another, you know, friend of his dad's, like, the best teacher he's ever had, you know, blah, 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 blah. And Lupin rocks up, like, hey, can I go with you and, like, help you on your crazy, dangerous thing? And Harry's like, fucker, you just got married.
Oh my god.
You have a baby on the way. You think I'm going to allow this? Absolutely not. Go take care of your wife. Harry said, absolutely not.
Another excellent quote that now I'm going to hear every time I read this again. Fucker, you just got married.
Don't even try it, Lupin.
No, but you're so right. Harry was brutally forced to stop idealizing people, even people who were everything to him, even people who were willing to be his parent, like his godfather. Yeah, that was so hard. That must have been intensely hard, but he grew up so quickly.
Yeah, it happens with Dumbledore too. Harry is just not allowed to have an adult that he looks up to who doesn't let him down in some way by just being a flawed, messy human being, you know?
Do you think that's a mirror of the real world?
Yes, like these books definitely do. Like they grow up with you. There are some good life lessons in there. Actually, I think the only adult who didn't let him down might be like McGonagall. He was never close with her. Like they kept those
Hagrid.
Those boundaries. Hagrid. Okay, I've got mixed feelings about Hagrid.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it. Wait, are we jumping from topic to topic too much? We've been jumping for a while because I actually got really emotional about Sirius because for a male character, he's very dear to my heart. I like him a lot, as much as I can a non-female character.
Sirius is just so profoundly sad. Like he's this kid. So first of all, I know that there's like opinions in fandom about like how his family treated him. I don't really want to wade into that. That's not really like I don't know.
Let's not go too in depth because I want to talk about female characters more, and we spent a good chunk talking about Dudley.
I'm sorry, you're right. We did.
Okay, you have like 2 minutes to express Sirius, and then we are moving to women.
All right, yes, ma'am. 2 minutes. Let's go. So first of all, I think Sirius was raised in a very similar way to Draco Malfoy, but unlike Draco, pretty early on, he was the sort of person who had the strength of character to be like, actually, I don't agree with this. I'm not going along with it. And he, you know, really did his own thing, like left his whole family. He didn't care. He was going to make a new family, make a new community. And, like, joining the Wizarding War, that's very brave. He was a very brave person. And then, like, he's 21, and his best friend has been murdered, and he goes to jail. Azkaban, which is a terrible, terrible place. He goes to jail for a crime he didn't commit for, was it 12 years? Yeah. And so, like, this is, like, the heartbreaking thing about him, is I think that he's a really interesting, compelling person who, for all of his faults and flaws, like, is a good person, but just didn't have the time or space to really, like, mature and grow into the best version of himself. Like, who he was at 21 is kind of who he still is, but just, like, crazy traumatized on top of that.
And a big drama queen.
Right. Like, you're not doing any growing up in Azkaban, let's be real. So, those are my 2 minutes. That's my little serious speech. Like, he's so sad as a character. I think that's why he, everyone wants to, like, write stories about him. Like, the potential's there.
Yeah, I really like how when he escapes Azkaban, it is specifically for Harry, and when he gets out, he's really out there being like, there is one person in the world that I care about, and it is the son of my best friend. It is kind of, he's the opposite of Petunia. Petunia is like, there's one person
Yeah.
in my life who I hate, and it's the son of my sister, but Sirius is the exact opposite. And Harry deserves that, but then he's taken away so quickly and so brutally, and I never got over it. Literally every single time, when I was reading the fifth book as a child, every time I would think in my heart, like, maybe he won't die this time. Like, maybe the text will
Yeah.
change. I couldn't make peace with it. I was shocked that Harry was able to make peace with it, because it was devastating. Like, imagine having nobody in your life who cares about your well-being, and then one person appears and you could have a life with them. You could have someone. Like, it meant so much to Harry. Remember when first time when he needed someone, and he remembered, like, oh, I have Sirius. Like, for the first time in my life, I have someone to reach out to with a problem that nobody gets and nobody can help me. There is a person. And it's so much for him. It's everything to him. And then he loses that, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, what's the point? What's the point? Like, that
It,
would have crushed me. I would have been like, fuck everything, I'm out.
it's so heartbreaking. I agree. Oh. Oh, it's so sad. Okay.
Okay,
Well, that's been the men have had their space. We're gonna talk about women again.
yeah, let's go back to
Um,
women. Who do we have next?
I don't think we have anything to say. Like, I can't think of anything to say about Winky, but I do want to just like moment of silence for this poor house elf.
I mean, her story was an allegory for an abused woman who just wants to go back, right? That's how I was feeling it. Did you feel that?
Yes, yes. Like she is built like the house elves. We should talk about S.P.E.W in a second. But the house elves are very clearly like this allegory for housewives, and so she's built her entire world and her entire sense of self on being the best servant.
Yeah, and
And
keeping secrets.
yes, yes. And then she gets cast out and really can't build a new life, doesn't know how.
Yeah, it was everything to her, just keeping her master's secrets and doing work for him and keeping him happy. It was the purpose of her entire life. I mean, she was born specifically for this. That's what she was told since the moment she was born. That was what her life was supposed to be. And once she gets fired, it's like she failed and there's nothing else for her. She doesn't care about anything ever again. And I think it was kind of brutal that Dumbledore brought her in to listen to the whole story. And I'm not sure if he did it because he wanted the confirmation, he wanted to see her reaction, to see if everything was real, to get a collaboration, get a feedback on the story, or it was because he wanted her to know just what she was a part of and, what happened. What do you think?
I think it was the collaboration because corroboration. Oh my god. Um, yeah, because when they're figuring out in the fourth book what happened, like a student has been murdered, and in an international tournament, so like this is very much like a legal matter, police proceeding. So I think like they kind of had to have Winky as a witness,
Mm-hmm.
but oh, it's brutal.
It is brutal, and she was devastated. She could barely hear it. But I think in a real situation, in real life, if a woman were to hear everything that's been happening, like even outside of what she knew about the situation, I think that would have helped immensely. Maybe not in such a brutal way, but being given more information about, what the abuser was doing, what were his goals, what was your part in it, that's kind of thing that usually helps. Do you think that?
I don't know that she was in a space to hear it because I think the thing that patriarchy does to us, and is always trying to do to us, is to put us in a framework where we do not have the language or the background to understand and name the abuse that's happening to us. So Winky didn't have the framework to hear this story and to respond in a way that's oh, you were using me, I cared so much about you and you didn't care about me, and that's not okay. She just doesn't have, that's not the way that she's going to respond to it, because the narrative that she's been living this entire time is something else, and it just can't change on a dime.
Yeah, and she didn't even mind so much being used, but she was punished for something that was so far out of her control. She has been rid of her entire life's purpose because she couldn't control a human being who she could not possibly control. It was an impossible expectation. She was put in a situation where she could have done nothing better. She did nothing wrong. And still she was punished by everything being taken away from her. I think that's a scar that she's carrying with her, and she doesn't understand that it's not her fault. I feel like she blames herself still.
Yes, I agree. Winky is definitely a character that, I would like a little post-canon, a little postscript about how she's doing.
Yeah, you're right. I would too. And I wish, because her entire situation makes me feel so helpless, because multiple characters tried to interact with her in multiple ways, but all she could do was drink and cry, and nothing really seemed to make a difference. And I would have loved to have any kind of idea, what do you do in this situation? What can you say? What can you do? What can you offer that would have helped someone? I just need to know for real life references.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's a really, really difficult question. I think we can expand a little bit and talk about. I think the way that Hermione's crusade for the house elves is managed.
Let's go into that.
Really interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start it up with that she was a child who just found out that her meals and her space is cleaned, and everything that she, all the services she receives in this life were given to her by slave labor, and she says, no, we are not doing this. I'm not having this. I'm going to fight this every way I know how, and I'm gonna pull other people to fight this with me, and that is so admirable. And I think that's what everyone should do. Ideally, that's what we all should do. And the reaction of her environment was negative. Consistently, everyone was annoyed with her. Everyone thought that whatever she was doing was very stupid. And I can admit that she didn't go about it in the best way, but it was because she was a teen. Do you know as a teen how to deal with slavery? Nobody knows this. Not even adults often do it the best way. What she was saying is this is a race of creatures. They need my help. They need my advocacy. They need me to help them. So I'm going to do everything. I'm going to learn to knit. I'm going to learn how to make clothes so I can liberate them. And she didn't really listen to feedback, because the feedback from these magical creatures was always negative. They were staying away from her. They were horrified. They did not like what she was doing. There was no communication. That's where things kind of were falling apart a little. But as Hermione grew, as she learned more, I believe if we learned more about what she did later, I believe she would have found ways to approach it in a way better manner. I feel like she would have figured it out. I feel like she will be the one to liberate the house elves. Okay, what do you think?
Yeah, it's very interesting because her failures are, they're kind of what I find interesting about it. Because Hermione getting things wrong, she gets them wrong. First of all, the entire way that people react to her is so realistic. Of like, again,
Yes.
this is the analogous to housewives. And how do people react in real life if you criticize that, right?
Oh my god. Okay, yes, definitely.
It's so normalized. People think you're crazy if you have any concerns. And housewives aren't going to react positively if you come in and you're like, oh, I'll save you. They won't like you. They will not like you.
Yeah.
Hermione's attempts at advocacy are very well-intentioned, very well-meaning. And it's important to note that, like, the narrative agrees with her.
Exactly.
Like, the way that she does it, like, is wrong. It's wrong in a couple of different ways. So first of all, she doesn't get people on her side by lecturing at them. Hermione in general, like, is this character who will, you know, when she's right, like, the fact that she's right is all that's in her head.
Yes.
So I don't blame Harry and Ron sometimes for being like, I don't want to listen to this.
I blame
like,
them. I still blame them, but that's because I'm very biased. Continue.
Well, I don't mean like in this specific instance, but like just in general, when they're like, okay, like we're kind of ignoring Hermione a little bit, because like she'll get on them, and it's kind of intense all of the time.
But she
and I
is
understand.
right. Excuse me, they should have also reacted like, hey, maybe slavery is wrong.
But of course,
Why
it's not
dumb?
framed that way. Like, Harry doesn't have a cultural context for the house elves, but is also not willing to like make waves
He
at
has
that
seen
moment.
Dobby. He has seen how Dobby was. He could have made some conclusions. No, he just refuses to think about it.
Yeah, but like Dobby was a character who like wanted his help, and the other house elves like don't. So I think for Harry, like, he's not.
Okay, Dobby's special, yeah.
Yes, and you have to keep in mind, like, Harry does like. He does come around on this, like he and Ron both do.
Okay, I have commentary.
Yeah.
When Hermione was advocating and trying to get them to participate, they were very reluctant and mostly like trying to avoid it as much as possible. But later on in the story, when they are faced with a magical creature who is telling them, yeah, I know you wizards, I know what you think of us, I know what you do to us, then they are suddenly very, very happy that once before they were in a club that was advocating for magical creatures, and at that point they do vocalize it, that they say like, no, we are defenders of you, we advocate for you. At that point they were really taking advantage of the fact that Hermione was basically pulling them through all of this. I think they kind of just use all this to their advantage. They're suddenly happy they have this in their pocket. They have this little thing that Hermione was pulling them into, so they can really use it in an argument to present themselves as good humans to this magical being who was basically very vital to their mission. So I think
which point is this?
It's I think it's in the last book.
I remember, like, I think you're talking about Grip Hook, and I don't remember,
yes,
like,
I am
what
talking
specifically. I don't remember them, like, bringing up S.P.E.W. to Grip Hook.
No, they didn't bring it up directly, but they were saying, like, hey, we are not wizard bigots. Basically, they were saying, like, we are not wizard bigots. We care about other magical creatures. We do advocate for them. Like, they were playing it up as if they were as good as Hermione. That's how I felt when they were talking to Grip Hook, trying to get him on their side to help them get the sword.
I don't know if I would 100% agree with that, just because, like, the reason that Grip Hook is open to them in the first place, as I remember, is, like, because Dobby had just died, and Grip Hook watched from his window as Harry and some others who came in and out and helped him, but like Harry the entire time dug his grave, like
yes, That
with the shovel, like, wouldn't use magic for it.
I think that helped a lot too. I think, yeah,
Yes.
I really loved that. I appreciated that so much. Just that human moment of burying a good friend who died for you. That helped me, like personally in my life. That helped me.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so, like, I think it's fair at that point to be like, we're not the wizard bigots. Although I do think, like, that's definitely a step of articulating that, like,
Yeah.
this is what we want to be and what we don't want to be.
Exactly. Yeah, they did understand at that point that it is what they wanted to be. They wanted to not be bigots at that point. I do agree.
Yeah.
So they did come around, and the narrative does say that Hermione was right all along. That's my conclusion. You go on.
Yes, but there is something to be said for, like, Hermione lecturing them didn't help. Hermione lecturing the house elves didn't help. What?
Yeah. Well, Hermione had to learn somehow that lecturing is not going to work, and she had to try it many, many times to figure out that it's not helpful.
Right.
Yeah, it was just learning and growing.
Because that's her instinct, and, like, right, and that's what I'm kind of getting at is that, like, because I'm not criticizing Hermione.
Good.
She's a teenage girl full of righteous anger. I understand that very well.
Yes. The most beautiful thing I can think of. A teenage girl filled with righteous anger.
But it's a very, like, relevant and important life lesson, I think, of, like, you can be right, and the way that you actually make progress, is not, by, like, because Hermione's mistakes were that she wasn't actually listening to the house elves. She saw their situation and she decided, like, what was good for them. Like, it wasn't good for her to be leaving out clothes for them. Like, they pick that up and then all of a sudden their entire life just falls apart. They don't have anywhere to go. They don't have anything to do. Like, that was a mistake, and it's because she is focusing on, like, it's wrong for them to be enslaved and not focusing on, like, what do they want? What would improve their lives? Like, where do they go after this? And so I think that that's a really, I'm kind of belaboring this point because I think it's a really useful lesson for anyone who's trying to do advocacy and make a change in the real world of, like, what is actually effective here, because you can be right about an issue forever, and it doesn't, if you aren't able to actually translate that into, like, real world goals that will actually help people, then it doesn't do anything.
All right, I have commentary. Do you want to say more?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Go ahead.
All right. So yes, what you're saying is correct. I have to defend Hermione a bit. I think at this point in life, she is way too young to understand that liberating them would basically put them in peril. It would put them in panic. It would destroy their lives. I think she's too young to see it that way. And if we remember her actual experience, the only experience that she had in her life of someone helping a house elf was Harry liberating Dobby. So seeing that and seeing Dobby's reaction could have led her to believe that setting them free is a great thing to do, because Dobby was so happy, he was so pleased, he was so grateful. So I think just her witnessing this, her having that experience in her life might have led her to think, oh, this works, so this is what I can do. And I also think that at this point in time, what else could have she done? Like you said that lecturing didn't work and the way she went about it was bad and she could have done damage instead. But she's a teenage girl who is in school, who is young. She doesn't have any social power. She can't really force anyone to do anything about this. Do you think there was anything else she could have done that could have made a difference? Or should she just have realized that she's basically helpless now and that this is a problem to deal with when she's an adult, when she has actual power in the society?
I definitely think that there are things she could have done differently. Although I do want to clarify that I am not criticizing Hermione. I don't want my characters to be, like, perfect paragons who always know the exact right thing to, like, do in any situation. Like, the fact that she has to figure out how to accomplish her goals is very interesting and valuable, I think. I think, because what she could have done is, what she needed to be doing was listening to the house elves, and actually building those relationships, because nobody wants a stranger to walk in, assume they know everything about you and your life, and tell you what will be good for you.
No, I agree with that, yes.
Right, like, even if they're right, like, that's not a good tactic to use. And then definitely, like, the road to changing how Wizarding Kind thinks about house elves, like, that is a long road. That is very difficult. I do think that, like, you know, she was able to make inroads with Dumbledore, which was actually a very important connection. He was the one in the position to actually give the house elves wages, like he did with Dobby.
Oh, they wouldn't have liked that. I think Dobby was the only exception who liked that.
Right, but just to have that contact so that, you know, if and when, like, she's talking to these house elves, to be like, what if you did everything you do, but also, like, you got some kind of compensation for it.
Yeah.
And so, like, because that's a thing that you can say, but to already have Dumbledore on your side as the person who can literally pay them, that's very important. And so I think connections like that, to actually be able to, because what she basically, like, wants to do here is to start putting down the foundations of, like, if house elves aren't being enslaved, what are they doing?
Yes,
Where
they needed
are they going?
an alternative
How is this,
option.
like, actually functioning?
Yeah, they needed an alternative option to live their lives.
Right. So that's kind of like, yeah. So that's where I'm thinking with that.
No, you're right. You're right. I do agree that this is what needed to be done, and I also feel like I wouldn't have thought of that as a teenage girl, and I don't think any teenage girl would have thought of that. We're adults, so we can see that.
It's no mark against her.
Yeah,
because she's doing great. Like, she's doing fantastic. I love Hermione,
and
I think.
Sorry.
I have total faith in her, like, as time goes on, to just get better and better at this.
Yeah.
And her heart's in the right place. She's right.
Yeah. And the narrative basically said, hey, she didn't actually do anything bad in the end, because Dobby was picking up all of the clothing, so nobody got liberated. They were just a little wary of her, and that's it.
Right. Yeah. I do like that moment a lot in the end too, where Ron is the one to think of the house elves and be like, oh, they should get out of here because it's really dangerous. That's very good. That's very good. It's like a narrative. He's like the last one in the trio to have that kind of penny drop.
Yes, well, do we think that it was a little out of character for him?
Not necessarily.
Oh.
See, like, I feel like we could talk about Ron and talk about the fact that, like, J.K. Rowling thought about killing him, but I feel like we've also maybe talked so much about men.
No, I didn't know. Oh my god, I didn't know that she talked about killing him. Like, now I feel so conflicted, because there is a part of me who wants him, well, not all the way dead, just a little dead, just a little bit. But Harry and Hermione would never have recovered, ever. I can't see them ever being okay after that, so I have to be like, okay, he can live, but just because his friends love him so much.
Yes. Ron is just... I'm not on board, like, I know that some people hate Ron Weasley.
That's me.
And I am not
That's me.
one
That's
of
me.
them. Okay.
I don't hate him when he's young, but later on, you know what? I never forgave him for leaving Harry like he did. I know he had the Horcrux and everything, but from the moment he left, he was dead to me. Like, I don't care anymore.
That was so mean of him. Like,
mean? That was betrayal. That was no. If he did that to me, we would be done.
Like, you could help. Like, of course Harry, like, doesn't have the perfect plan and answer. Like, y'all are doing this together. But he does come back. Points for that,
yeah,
I guess.
And the problem of the entire thing was that Ron was so insecure and so jealous and constantly thinking that Harry and Hermione had something to do with each other, which was like, how many insecure, jealous people are going to take it out on Harry? Like, it was Petunia and whoever else, like, too many people. 2 is already too much, and those were 2 very big people in his life. I'm just sick of it.
Yeah, I could see that.
I went off so quick.
Like, I can see Ron's good points, and also, like, I just don't. He doesn't do much for me.
Okay.
I think we should probably call it here, because I know we've been going for a long time.
Yes.
And I don't want the episodes to go much over an hour.
Yes, okay, I agree with that. Thank you for catching it.
Yeah, I think what we might do is this might just be a reoccurring segment, because I feel like there's still just so much that we could talk about. We didn't even get to talk about James Potter. That was my plan going into this, is I had thoughts about James Potter.
I'm looking at your note. Yeah, we didn't talk about it.
No, we'll talk about it next time.
All right, that's fair. We did discuss a lot. We went into a whole political debate.
We did! It'll be fun.
Yeah.
And we can just have, like, a little Harry Potter segment sometimes. I think that's just a good time. Hang out and talk about Harry Potter.
Yeah, why not?
We have to get excited for the new TV show in 2 years. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. This has been Lavender Lemonade, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.